Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Deep Agents, Episode 4 of 16. The most common mistake in agent design is writing a massive 4,000-word system prompt detailing exactly how every single tool works and hard-coding specific session data. You end up with a brittle prompt, exhausted context windows, and a nightmare when handling multiple users. Dynamic system prompts resolve this by assembling the exact instructions the language model needs on the fly. Think of context engineering in deep agents as a dynamic assembly line. Instead of writing one static block of text, the final prompt sent to the language model is constructed from 3 distinct layers. These layers are the static system prompt, the tool prompts, and the runtime context. They merge at the exact moment of execution to form the complete input context. The first layer is the static system prompt. This is the piece you write manually. It defines the agent persona, its core rules, and its ultimate goal. It is deliberately simple. You might tell the agent it is a database query assistant, but you do not tell it how to connect to the database, what formatting the tool expects, or what the user's session ID is. You keep this layer strictly focused on high-level business logic. The second layer consists of the tool prompts, and this is where the framework steps in. Deep Agents automatically injects the necessary usage instructions for the specific tools you attach to the agent. If you give the agent a tool to read a file, the framework dynamically appends the exact schema for that tool. Along with the schemas, it injects a built-in planning prompt. This planning prompt instructs the model on how to sequence the available tools effectively to solve a problem. You never manually write out the instructions for how the model should format a tool call or plan its execution steps. The framework handles those mechanics automatically. When you add or remove a tool from the agent, the underlying tool prompts update instantly without you touching the core system prompt. Now, we need to clear up a common source of confusion between the static system prompt and runtime context. The static prompt is defined when you initialize the agent. Runtime context, however, is injected exactly when you invoke the agent to do work. Consider a scenario where you are building a multi-tenant application. When a specific user asks a question, the agent needs that specific user's unique database connection ID to fetch their data. If you put that identifier in the static system prompt, you would have to recreate the entire agent from scratch for every single user request. Instead, you use runtime context. Here's the key insight. You pass a context object via a feature called tool runtime right at the invocation step. You hand the framework a dictionary containing the specific database connection ID for that session. The framework takes this runtime context, merges it with your static prompt and the auto-generated tool instructions, and wires it directly into the tools that require it. The tool executes with the correct dynamically provided connection ID. Your static system prompt stays completely clean of temporary identifiers, API keys, or session tokens. At the millisecond of execution, the dynamic assembly line finishes its job. Deep Agents concatenates your core instructions, the dynamically generated tool schemas, the planning prompts, and the specific invocation data into one cohesive input context. The model receives a complete, perfectly formatted set of instructions tailored to that specific user and that specific task. The most scalable agents know nothing about their environment until the exact moment they are asked to act. That's your lot for this one. Catch you next time.